And welcome back. You're watching Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'm your co-host, Eric Berger. With me, as always, Charlie Moffitt. And I want to welcome Marcus from Bluff City Cowboys. Appreciate you. It's an honor to have you here as one of my top fives in the underground draft heads, Dallas Cowboys. I'm excited to have you here, man. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Man, first of all, I want to thank you guys for extending the invitation. I mean, since day one, you guys have always been very supportive, always making comments, sharing. So I appreciate that. For everyone that's watching, make sure you find me. I'm co-host of the Cowboy Zone. We come on every Thursday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. And I'm Bluff City Cowboy coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Bluff City Cowboys. I'm always doing my research. I love this stuff. I'm a football nerd. So just check me out. Hope you guys learn something. Hope you're entertained.
Love it.
Again, appreciate the support.
And Marcus, you're my number one, not my top five.
Damn.
Man, thank you. I appreciate that.
Eric, putting you in the top five.
Hey, man, top five is good, man.
I mean, nobody knows.
Somebody tell me.
Yeah.
It's like somebody telling me Dak's top 10.
Top five and tied for first. Top five and tied for first.
Anyway,
Nobody knows me right now, so for you guys to even know who I am is an honor.
Hey, I knew you from. So you were in the Star. We started, or Charlie started the Star. This is all Facebook for people listening. Charlie started the Star. I guess he had it for a couple years, and then I came along and kind of, I think it was a couple weeks, and he messaged me, "Hey, you want to be an admin?" Because I had been talking shit the whole time after joining, and we started that. And unfortunately, Charlie had some issues, got into an accident. He's talked about that several times on the show before, but he was unable to go for a little while. So I kind of stayed behind, and we built that group up pretty substantially. Yeah. And then I also know you from War Room. Shout out to Dallas Cowboys War Room with Michael Petty.
That's a great group as well.
I like that one too.
War Room is real good. We actually built it up too good. The Star.
We ended up having to cut back just to weed out the idiots because it's just a lot of rah-rah stuff,
I deleted 13,000 people by hand. Took me like 2 weeks to get 13,000 people out of there. But but it was good. It was Eric's a perfect example of when people tell me you delete people that don't agree with you. Mm-hmm. First of all, I delete very few people in that group. There's another admin that deletes most of the people.
Right.
But they always message me like, you delete me because I disagree with you. And I tell him, Eric became an admin because he disagreed with me all the time. All the time. We argue all the time. And I'm like, I like this guy. I want to ask him if he wants to be an admin. Marcus, boss, he became a mod because we disagreed
all the time.
All the time. I mean, we didn't agree on anything. I mean, if there was a subject, if the sky was blue, one of us was going to say it was black.
But we encourage that,
Exactly. And he became a mod, and that's why. Because I don't mind being challenged. As long as you challenge me with an educated opinion, I'm good with it. But when you challenge me and disagree me with some stupid shit, then I'm still not going to delete you. I'm just going to start ignoring you and just talk shit to you and tell you how much of a dipshit you are.
Right.
Yeah, if you don't at least sound like you put in the work, I don't want to talk to you.
Exactly. I don't mind disagreement. As long as I know that this guy disagrees with me, but he's coming from an educated point of view, I'm good with it. I'm not even changing my mind.
If his point came from Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty much shutting down anyway.
I can't even watch them shows anymore.
I can't either.
That's sad, dude, because there's not a lot of TV sports I can watch anymore. Like, I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. NFL Live was my show. I recorded it every day. Never missed it. Going back to Wingo and Stink and Golick back in them days, late 90s, all the way up to 2019. But the past year, they changed the format to where it's more of a debate show. It's like, I'm going to have this topic, and I'm going to come over the top of some stupid dipshit point of view. Then, okay, I'm going to counter that with another one. And they just, and it's just like, man, that's not what I want.
People like drama, man.
They do.
Yeah, and you speak for yourself when Whitlock was on there. Loved the show. Recorded it every day. Because it always reminded me of me and my friends sitting around drinking beer and just talking about shooting the shit about football. And then Whitlock left and they brought Ocho in. I like both of them guys. I love Wally. but now they've turned into a debate show. It's like it's like undisputed. They both could just start going over the top of each other, and it's like, I can't do this, man. Y'all not even analyzing the game anymore. Y'all just seeing who has the most over the top opinion, and let's get some clicks and get some ratings. But
yeah, I can't stand clickbait media.
I guess if somebody was going to pay me $1 million to say some stupid shit, I'll probably come on here and say some stupid shit. I might even say Dak sucks if you're going to pay me $1 million. Mm-hmm. So I get it, but I just don't like it.
Yeah. Before we start, what's up, Mendoza? Thank you for joining as always. Corey Starrett, I know you're probably a regular of them, so thank you for tuning in and watching. If you get a chance, check me out, Bluff City Cowboys as well.
What's up, Corey? He did, yeah. So in the groups, arguing with everybody, that's real life. People that know me in real life will say the same thing. I like to argue.
Yeah,
but
people
constructively,
I never think I'm wrong, and I hate that.
I don't think you do.
That's the stupidest thing you can say to me. You always think you're right. Well, fuck yeah. Why wouldn't I? I mean, I'm not going to come to a debate, argument, back and forth, whatever you want to call it, without a bunch of information, a bunch of data, whatever you want to call it, that I formed this opinion from, and think, you know what, I could be wrong on this.
Right.
I don't want to come in and think I'm right. Show me I'm not.
There's nothing wrong with being to disagree.
And if you're arguing with me, and you're telling me that I always think I'm right, I always can I say the same thing about you? Since you are arguing with me, that means you think you're right. I think I'm right. That's what the fucking argument is. So why are you telling me I always think I'm right? Never made no sense. Todd Tenner.
What up, Todd?
All right,
we're sneaky in there. Yeah. Let's jump into. That's a good segue, man. Clickbaity. So in the intro vid that I slapped together, the first slide is off the field antics or off the field issues that and how they affect the draft. Now I want to attack each individually because I feel like that was a little bit clickbaity with that video, because I don't want to. Let's focus on that individual, what circumstances are surrounding them, and if they do actually affect the draft. Now, so started off with Aldon Smith. Obviously, it's not affecting us in the draft at all. Right. He's no longer a Cowboy. But I think they did make some moves, go get Basham just to cover that up. I do believe that they did know about what was going on with Aldon. Unfortunately, he did have some issues going on, and then I found it pretty coincidental of the dates that he was released and then signed, and then the allegations came out or charges came out. So, but to get him off, I'll move on to
real quick. Fish did report that, kind of said, now you know why Cowboys released him or some shit like that. I don't pay attention to Fish too much, so they did know.
Yeah,
or they had an inkling of what might have been going on. Maybe not that. Maybe there was some other stuff that he showed that maybe he was relapsing, maybe going backwards from where he was supposed to be. But they knew something.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to look at it. All of his people who were there to hold him accountable were gone. Tom Sula and Nolan. Those were the guys who brought him here. Those were on the table for him. So after they left, I mean, who else did he really have?
That's a great point.
He's just a freak, man. Just athletically. It's a shame.
Yeah, what was he out of the league? 4 years or something? And come back 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah. 2015 was the last time he had played before.
And you could tell he was wearing down towards the end of the season. But man,
he started off hot.
It was still impressive to me to see you being out the league that long and then come in game ready at least for the first 6-8 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to
it was pretty inevitable going to the Seahawks though, because they won them last year.
Yeah,
we tried to trade for him.
Mm-hmm. So that was the landing spot for him the whole time, in my opinion. I think the allegations make it easier for us to kind of justify it, but I think he was going there no matter what.
No, I agree. I don't think he was re-signing him. I think he was leaving regardless.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought they were going to bring him back.
There were some people who did.
Yeah.
There were some.
I figured he'd be cheap. I figure if we get that first 6-8 games out of him again, why not? You're going to need guys. You're going to need rotational guys anyway.
Damn, I got the burps.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, another guy in the graphic, Rashard Robinson. When this first came out, I thought it was Reggie, and I was more scared than I am now because of it being Rashard. Now he did play in 4 games, and I think he started a few last year for us. Once things didn't really matter. But him getting suspended for 2 games for PEDs?
Right.
This doesn't affect anything, I don't think.
Nothing whatsoever.
With the secondary, because this kind of couples with Trayvon Diggs, I think they were taking at least 1 in the draft.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I don't believe that it's a direct effect. But now with Diggs' allegations, I mean, he could potentially, we've seen it with Zeke, be facing 6 games.
Yeah. I don't think so, but we'll it's remain to be seen. I don't trust the source, and I hate to seem like the type of guy that diminishes any accusations that a woman makes.
Sure.
Looking at the source and what she's done in the past, and basically how her whole reputation is based off of drama.
Wasn't she texting the league directly or something?
Right, exactly. I think she's trying to get attention, and to be honest, it's been about a week, hasn't it, since that kind of came out?
Yeah, and I haven't heard shit.
Exactly. It's the off season. Everybody's looking for a story in the NFL. If that was serious, I think we would have heard something in terms of the league doing their due diligence at this point. So
even worst case scenario, he gets 6 games. I still don't think that changes your draft strategy.
No.
I mean, I just he's going to miss 6 games. You don't oh shit, panic and just grab 2-3 cornerbacks because he's going to miss 6 games. But I'm kind of with Mark because I mean, you never can tell. NFL gets they can always come out of anywhere and suspend you, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree with you 100%, both of you guys, but this is this is Roger Goodell's NFL. This is not. We've seen this before.
We'll see how it goes, but yeah, it's been. I think it's been a week. Has it been a week?
I think it's been close to a week.
Yeah.
My days and weeks are so messed up here lately.
Yeah. And Charlie, you brought up a great point when we talk about certain fans in these chat rooms. Every time they see something, they think, "Oh, the sky's about to fall, and we have to take this position." Especially in the first round. First round picks, you look for those guys to be there 5-10 years. You don't let a 6-game misstep dictate how your board is supposed to go.
No,
you don't let 1 year, especially when you're talking top 10 pick, you don't let 1 year dictate how your board is supposed to go. If you think a guy's the best player and he's going to make 6 Pro Bowls in the next 10 years, I don't care how long he has to sit on the bench for his first year, whether it's 1 game or 16. You're looking at the future. And I think a lot of people just see stuff and then it's like the sky is falling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. The first round to me is the one round that you can truly, truly, truly go with BPA. Because I've always said no teams ever goes with BPA ever pick. I did a mock of the night just to show the chat that we are in, the little admin chat, of what would happen if you go BPA every round. I end up selecting 3 running backs in a row and 4 overall.
Right.
I would lose my shit if any team ever. Well, if it was some team I didn't like, I wouldn't care. But the Cowboys. That's my point. Was you're not going to go BPA every pick, but you can in the first round. Right. That is the one round that you can truly take everything off the board, like who's the best player. And after that, you do have to kind of fit need into it. Because, like I said, you can select the same position group 3 or 4 times in one draft if you just went strictly BPA.
That's true.
And in normal fashion, I'm going to disagree a little bit.
Go ahead.
So I think you can split the first round into two groups. I think if you're in the top 15, I think you can go BPA. I think you have to be a little more strategical if after that, picking LVE later, picking, Byron Jones at the end. I think you can kind of factor in a need there towards the end because it's especially with this draft, with it being so polarizing with offense pretty much dominating the top 20 or so, and then you got all your defensive guys kind of falling in there consensus towards the end. So I'm gonna disagree there a little bit, but
and just to follow up on what you said, in pretty much any draft, going back to however long you want to, the top 10 to 14 guys, you kind of know who the best of the best is once you get to that point. Once you get to about 16 to 40, there's no real differentiation between the guy at 18 and the guy at 38. So just like you said, I agree. Once you get past a certain point, BPA becomes a lot more subjective than it is in the top 12, because we all look at this draft and we all kind of know, like, these are the guys. And if anybody other than these 10 to 12 guys go in the top 12, it's a major reach.
yeah.
Totally agree. Matthew Jennett. But where's the evidence?
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of people that say the same thing about Zeke.
Couple of text messages. That's all it took. Zeke, right?
Yeah.
They didn't really have anything. They had
But I'm with you. I don't think nothing's going to happen. But they don't really need a lot of evidence. It's kind of like a civil court. It's just more probable than not is all they have to prove.
It's kangaroo court. They don't have to prove shit.
If there's if there's a 50.1% chance that he did it, then that's all they need to suspend him. So.
But if the police weren't called in any situation, it's going to be hard for the league to really follow up on that, because
because
there was no report to open up the investigation.
Sure.
Yeah, unless she has a text saying, because she said something about having a text of him threatening her, shoot her, or guns. I guess if she has a text that they can prove is from him saying he was going to shoot her, well, yeah, that might be. But the thing is, we're the Cowboys, dude. If that shit would have been there, they'd done been released.
Oh,
so
yeah.
TMZ would have got that shit and ran with it. I mean, they'd had every text message that damn Diggs ever sent when he was 10 years old. They'd have his text messages back then. So,
Well, I think I read something to where she's claiming he has multiple aliases texting her. So random phone numbers.
Random phone numbers.
And that's pretty convenient for her sake, I think.
Exactly. And I like what Mendoza said. We're still waiting for the Dez Bryant Walmart video.
Yeah, that was Schefter, or was that?
That was
Florio?
Schefter, yeah. That was
I know Florio ran with it too.
Right.
Yeah, little fucking weasel, fucking Florio. But yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, that was wild. Mm-hmm. But he never backtracked on that shit either. He never apologized or anything like that.
Mendoza says that was one of his homegirls' texts. Could have something there then.
Yeah.
If they can trace that back.
We'll see.
Because then that's like conspiracy charges.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we don't hear anything in the next 3 days. I don't worry about hearing anything else about it.
All right, so none of those off the field. That was super clickbaity of me. I'm sorry.
But now back to the Rashard Robinson real quick. If you go back, 'cause I kind of looked at his history a little bit. Every year this guy has had something. Like 3 years ago, he had something with possession of like marijuana laced candy, didn't show up to court. Then 2018, he was suspended 4 games for violating the league substance abuse policy. 2019, he sat out the entire year because nobody wanted to touch him. And then 2020 he ends up here. So maybe somebody should have read the tea leaves a little bit better before they did in the first place.
That's crazy. I wonder what ties he had, who he knew. I don't see McClay making that call. I don't see Steven making that call. I don't see. Had to been someone lower down in personnel, or I don't know.
Yeah, he was. I believe I'm looking. He was drafted by the Niners, and then he went to the Jets. So I don't know if anybody has any ties with either one of those things.
No.
Especially back to 2016. But yeah, maybe somebody just liked this tape in college and thought we'd take a chance on them because we were thin that corner.
Yeah, I mean that absolutely could have been.
Yeah,
his dad's coming back to the Cowboys.
Yeah, Corey. I actually have a video pulled up I could show of him working out, beating some scrub. I don't even know, Daryl or fucking, I don't know what this guy's name is.
No, I don't.
But I don't think he.
No, I mean, hell, we don't even have room for him.
I would make
where he would play.
Yeah. Hey,
No, I can't.
vet minimum. Go catch 6-8 touchdowns in the end zone. Back shoulder fade, 9 something. Red zone threat. I'd do it. But I like offense, and I like throwing the ball, and I like.
Do you think he can really do that though?
That's
He could
what I'm
do
saying.
that when he was in his prime.
Yeah,
But
I
when
mean,
he was leaving his prime.
in 2017, his jump ball ability fucking fell off the cliff. He wasn't, and I argued so much about this shit. In 2007, he dropped off in 2016. Not a
Sure.
lot. When people see numbers, they're like, "Oh, he still got 1,000." Well, if
The
you
foot-
just watch it. He wasn't as good. He did take a step back. And in 2017, for me anyways, he fell off a cliff. He just wasn't even close to what he used to be. You know, he had the dropsies, his 50-50 balls. Just, you know, of course, everybody blamed Dak. You know, what Dak didn't put in the right spot. It was a 50-50 ball. That's not supposed to just throw it and let him go get it.
Exactly.
There was a lot of balls he would have caught back in his prime that he wasn't catching in 2017.
Yeah.
And I say this, there is a reason it took 6 months after he was cut for somebody to sign him during the middle of the season. There's a reason that he didn't play until last year for the Baltimore Ravens and didn't play that much.
Yeah.
He's not who he used to be. He's just,
Exactly.
I mean, I know it's Dez, and I know people fall in love with players, it's Cowboy players, and they can't help themselves. It's like they remember 2014 Dez and think if he can just get a little bit of that back. No, that's long. That's gone. It's not coming back. I mean, you know, he would literally be the 5th wide receiver on our team.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think he would be better. I don't think he's better than Wilson, and I don't think he's better than Brown. I take both of them over Dez. And I don't want somebody just going in there for a red zone option. I'm with Marcus. Can he still do the red zone? Is his vertical still there? Is his hand still there?
I think the hands are still there. I think the contested catch win rate is still there.
I don't know. And I don't know because
You didn't see him beat Daryl
Oh, the Darryl, yeah.
or Rodney, whatever his guy's name was. No pads. Come on, man.
I know I love Dez as much as anybody. I mean, he was my guy.
Hey, I was the one standing on the table. Trade him after the foot.
Yeah, I got a Dez T-shirt. You know, Dez. I mean, and I very seldom do I do that, but for a specific player.
Yeah.
No, he just, you know, I'm real good about cutting my ties with players. You know, Emmitt Smith. Once he was gone, I was at the first game in Arizona, not at Arizona, but at Texas Stadium when he came back. You know, and people's probably going to think I'm an asshole, but when Roy Williams knocked him out of the game, I cheered. I'm like, hell yeah. He's not a Cowboy anymore. I don't give a shit. He got a damn bird on his helmet, you know?
He should have been a Philly fan.
Yeah. So, it wasn't. I mean, I cheered him when they introduced him and stuff, you know, respect. But once they knocked him out of the game, hell yeah, I stood on my feet and cheered. You know, I can let go of players really easy. I just never have. I love the Cowboys. I don't fall in love with players.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. Yeah.
You know, once they leave here and they go to another team, then no, I'm not going to wish harm on them. I don't want them to get hurt.
Right.
You know, I don't even want them to do bad. You know, unless they play us. You know, but the love that some fans give after they leave is just it's kind of a little disturbing at times.
It is.
I crushed hard over Beasley.
Really?
Yeah. You know,
He got a thousand in the slot.
Yeah.
Only because I was screaming we should be doing that shit with him here. But
yeah,
I think 2016 he had to have been one of Dak's favorite targets.
he was Dak's favorite target.
He did lead the team.
Yeah.
Receiving yards that year.
Yeah, I think Witten had more targets, but yeah, like Mark said, Beasley led the team. But yeah, no, he was a good slot receiver. I mean, he does what he does, and he does it very good. But you know, he left.
Yeah.
He has a build on his helmet now. I don't give a shit.
AFC, come on, it don't matter.
No, I still root for Bees. I always like Bees. I didn't like his rapping, but I didn't think he was that good at that. But
Hey, is Corey Storrett a regular for you guys?
yeah,
He's a
he's
in-person buddy of mine. He's like
Okay.
a real life buddy of
he's a
mine.
friend
Yeah.
of Eric's.
And he's actually a Texans fan.
He's a
I was just
Texan fan.
he would be a fan of.
Yeah, the first time he came on here, he said something about Texas. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And Eric's like, oh, that's my buddy. I'm like,
Yeah, he's just showing support.
Okay.
Yeah, he's cool though.
Yeah. I was just wondering to see his questions. Yeah, Mendoza answered the question about KJ Wright.
Yeah, right. He's a closed door.
Yeah. But we'll see.
What did you think about him, Marcus? What did you
About
think about that? Right, by bringing him in, was you in favor of it?
I mean, we're desperate at linebacker right now. Like, I don't think
I
people
agree.
really understand how thin we are at that position. Francis Bernard, I don't think he played a snap of defense last year. Luke Gifford got suspended 4 games. Other than that, he didn't play a snap. These are our backups, guys. That's only 2 backups, and we have 3 linebacker positions. LVE
We have one that misses half the season every year.
Exactly. I was just about to say LVE. He's going to miss 8 games. So who are we filling in at this spot?
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was okay with KJ Wright. You know, people was like, what does that mean for Neal? Was he moved back to safety? If KJ Wright comes, who's going to start?
Right.
My thing is sign him and figure it out.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, Neal can move back to safety. You know, and you can have LVE and Jalen and Wright out there, and when LVE goes down like he will, then it won't be a problem.
I mean, history has shown we're going to need a starter for 8 games. That's without question. Who's going to start for the people who don't think we need one?
Yep. But yeah,
What was the hang up? What was the hang up with Wright? Years?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know if I ever read why they didn't.
I heard he wanted multiple years, and they only wanted a 1 year. Cowboys.
That's what I heard too. I remember now. Well, with the cap and everything, Cowboys trying to sign all these guys to 1 year deals, which is fine, which is smart. And I told everybody when the cap went down, this is what the team's going to be filled of. Guys like Dak and D-Law and Cooper making all the money, and the bottom guys getting vet minimums or close to it, like Neal and KZ, and then rookies.
Yep.
The middle class was going to get wiped out. There wasn't going to be a lot of middle class, and I think that's probably what KJ Wright was looking for, was like a middle class contract, and just it's not going to happen with the cap dropping.
Is the door closed?
I think Fish said it is.
That 1 year is going to look real good after April 29th. When
That's what I'm saying.
The draft is over with and other teams have filled their needs.
Yeah, that following Monday with the comp formula, right?
If it don't look good then, it's going to look good when training camp starts and he still ain't got a job.
Exactly.
If he does. I'm not saying he's not going to have a job. Somebody might sign him. I'm just saying that if it goes that long, he might.
He had a visit with somebody else. I don't remember who.
If we go past the draft, his options are going to be even more limited because most of the teams who were looking at him, they are probably going to fill that position in the draft. And then it's like, I got to take what's available or hope for an injury in training camp, which the way camp is going, we may not even have one. So we'll see. He better hop on whatever deal he can get.
What are you talking about there with the NFLPA going against the non-mandatory stuff? Or you think we're not going to have a camp at all?
I mean, you never know how things work with this.
Sure.
I think we will, but again, you never know. You never know.
The real thing is going to be the mini camps. Because right now, this is all volunteer anyways. So they're all
there's no big deal here, right?
You're not actually boycotting
No, they're not.
You don't even have to be there if you don't want to be there.
Exactly.
But the mini camps, because I know the NFLPA is asking for all virtual mini camps too. And the NFL is pushing back on it. So that's going to be the real test of what happens then.
Right.
And how this is going to play out. But I do believe we'll have a camp. I mean, unless COVID spikes and starts doing crazy shit again. I don't expect that. At least I hope I don't.
And people talk about the Cowboys having all this participation. For the guys who don't follow contracts, Dallas writes in workout bonuses in almost every major player's contract.
Yeah,
so
they have escalators for the base salary. That's how they do it.
And they have that as well. Some of them have actual workout bonuses.
Like Dak and D-Law, I think both have $500,000 escalators in their base salaries. In other words, if they don't show up, they ain't getting $500,000.
Right. And I think Zeke's contract has an actual workout bonus that he has to be there 70% of off season, or he doesn't get that. That's a lot of money to give up.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to give up. Across the league, that's what's happening. Is guys that have workout bonuses, they're showing up, and the guys that's not, they're not showing up. Which I don't blame them.
Right.
But Dallas has, and even the ones without workout bonuses, we've had a lot of people from what's being reported at the facilities all off season.
But to add on to that, like if you're the number 4 receiver and your quarterback's there, you want to make a good impression. You got a new DC. he doesn't know anybody on the team. If you're Dorrance Armstrong, do you want to be sitting at home, or do you want to let them see Bradley and I in the training room every day?
Yeah.
You want to be seen right there with them.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more than just being safe that's causing some of these guys to come in, or just being team guys. Literally.
Yeah, I feel like the bottom of the roster guys. Yeah, because I mean they're the bottom roster guys. Right. They can't really afford to sit, not to be seen. They want to be seen, because their jobs are. But the bigger players, that they're pretty secured. Yeah, I think they'll set out. But But no, I agree with you.
Unless the money dictates it, then.
Unless the money dictates it, then it's all about money and where you're at on a team.
Exactly. And I think people who don't really understand all the negotiation stuff, they don't realize that they see the big names like the Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees talking about the players negotiations, but they don't understand this is the players, all 1,800. There's only about 150 stars. The other 1,700 guys are trying to get a paycheck tomorrow, and that's why the Players Association always loses in negotiation.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is already a multi-millionaire. He's already been paid a couple times.
It's hard to get 1,800.
Of course, you don't want to practice
1,800 players on the same page when the money is so much different. When one's making $20 million a year and one's making $600K a year.
Exactly.
That's different. You can't get them on the same page.
And the one that's making $600K is trying to live his life like the one making $20 million.
Right. Usually that's how it works.
Exactly. And that money, that well runs dry real quick.
Yeah, family gets in there, and
cars and bling, and
cars, and definitely the bling.
Yeah. All right, guys.
You say we're scarce at linebacker. I think we're in the same boat at cornerback. Who are some guys that are left that y'all have seen that would at least fill a hole so that we can go in actually BPA? And because right now it looks like Surtain is the pick, right? Or am I just tripping?
No, I like Horn more, but I agree. I think it's Surtain
for the Cowboys. I'm not our opinions.
Yeah,
the reality pick.
Oh yeah,
for the brand, Jerry.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
We got to get somebody else in free agency.
I just went blank. So? It's not that I don't know what
you have to. Linebacker, another corner. Well, I know Sherman will never come over here. Goes,
but I mean, we got corners. It's just, are they worth a shit? I mean, well, you got Diggs, you got Brown, you got Lewis, you got Kennedy. It. You got Kennedy.
Okay, all right.
That opted out last year. You have Robinson, which they're moving back to corner. It was safety, and then they decided no, they're going to move him back to corner. Then you have the Robinson just got suspended, but he's going to be gone, I'm pretty sure. So, but no, I'm not saying don't grab a corner. We don't need him. I'm just saying with linebacker, the starters are issues with me, but the depth, we don't have depth. We don't really have shit at linebacker.
Yeah. I agree.
I have a little more faith than y'all, specifically with LVE, but I'm in the same boat with Jalen.
LVE just pissed me off because I stood on the damn hill and died for him over that pick. I went against two of my damn rules I have in the first round. Don't draft off the ball linebacker in the first round. He's off a ball linebacker. Mm-hmm. Don't draft a hurt player in the first round. He's a fucking hurt player.
Right.
I went against both of my two cardinal rules. And he did nothing to help me out. He fucking got hurt, and to be honest with you, besides his 2018 year, 2019 and 2020, when he was on the field, he wasn't overly impressive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he was shit, but he wasn't nothing to write home about. But yeah, I went against two rules of mine and stood on the hill, and now I look like an idiot for standing on that hill and dying on it. Now I'm just tumbling down.
I don't think you're dead yet, man. You might be bleeding at the top, but you ain't dead yet.
I feel dead.
If you look at the injuries, so on the last show, I brought it up. So if you look at the injuries, we all knew about the neck, right? That was a concern coming in. Mm-hmm. I get that. I'm with you on that. But the other two, the collarbone was like some freak He literally had someone draped on his back, and the ball carrier had someone draped on their back, and it was just like this crazy, awkward collision. It's just a freak accident, in my opinion. And then getting rolled up on, that can happen to anybody. That's not a thing that I would consider, habitual for him or some kind of, common occurring thing. It's just anybody. That can happen to anybody.
All right, Eric, over under 10 games for LV this year.
Give me over. I mean, he's healthy. Give me over.
You're the only one. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll stand on that hill.
But this is all what I always say about that. I understand that it's injuries, that it's not soft tissue. I understand all that.
Yeah.
But he's always getting hurt. And like I said last show, if you're a godly man, maybe it's God trying to tell him something. If you're not a godly man, maybe it's the universe. I don't know what's going on. But guys like him, it's just like they can't get over it. It's like they just always get hurt. And I mean, I can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but it's like Romo. You used to tell me the same thing about Romo. Well, it's just this, it's just that, it's just this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was just this every fucking year until he retired, and that's just how it is. It's just once you start that injury thing, it's injury. Oh, that's no big deal. Another injury. Oh, but that's no big deal. Oh, another injury. Oh, well, that's a freak accident. Well, hell, eventually it comes to a point where, like, well, he's just bad luck, unlucky. I don't know.
And we're not there yet, in my opinion.
No. I tell you, dude, if he gets hurt, I'm going to give you so much shit. If he gets
That's
hurt,
fine. That's fine.
I'm going to give you so much shit.
It'll probably happen in the off season. Some non-mandatory shit. Weight room.
You can always leave it to Mendoza to give you two names that most people.
Yeah, Mendoza, he'll pop. Yeah, that's him all day.
Yeah, those are good.
Poole
names.
and Campbell. Yeah.
But I guess at corner, I mean, like we talk about linebacker, there's not a lot of depth there. We have depth at corner. So if you're going free agent at corner, are you looking for a depth guy? Are you looking for a guy that starts at number 2? Are you looking for a super cheap guy? Without knowing where they want to go, it's hard to say what player they should take. And I think that's why you have to wait till after the draft, because if you take, let's say we take Surtain at 10, your top 2 are pretty much penciled in. So are you going to go out and pay $7 million to bring Richard Sherman in? Because he's at best your number 3 at this point. The money.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Line up with paying a guy $7 million to be your number 3.
I don't think he'd be number 3. I think you could put. I don't know who you take off the field, but Diggs or Surtain. I mean, Diggs was kind of thrown into the fire yet last year, right? But he could have probably benefited from starting in the slot maybe for a year. He could have benefited from had we had guys around him. Because I think most defensive positions they're not fantastic coming out of college. It's just the game is faster. The offense is better. It's an offensive game. All the rules are, specifically made for the offense. It's just I feel like we'd have been okay. And then you come in with Sherman, 1-year deal. Now, granted, whatever your opinion is on him coming here and working with Jerry, but man, he comes in. He's left corner, whatever. I'm assuming he plays left corner. I think.
I can't picture us drafting at Surtain at 10 and then signing Richard Sherman and benching Diggs.
Right.
And Diggs because Cowboys had a first-round grade on Diggs last year too.
Yeah.
That was one of the possibilities in them drafting in the first round with their first pick, and they was able to pick him up in the second. So they're big on him. Plus he, I don't know. I can't picture them.
Yeah.
I can picture them signing somebody.
How long was Diggs out?
Lower
3-4 games.
3 or 4 games.
I think 3 games, maybe 4.
Is it worth having another guy that could start? I think so.
But for $7 million?
But for $7 million? In case he gets hurt?
Because
what's it going to hurt? It's just this year.
Then Mendoza brings up another point I want to go as a follow-up. So you bring Sherman in. Everybody else gets pushed further down the totem pole. Now your number 5/number 6 corner is making $4.5 million. That's a little too much for that position. So now, do you cut AB? And when you cut AB, do you not have to backfill his position, or are you just going to stick with what you got and be good with?
That's a good point. It's valid. It's fair.
That's where it gets
Yeah.
tricky.
And I also think we're going to double dip at corner. I don't think we're just going to get one.
I
My
would.
opinion.
Sure. We should.
You know, well, that's why I should say we should. I'm not going to
Yeah.
predict that we will, but we should. The
Right.
draft will say a lot, you know, of what we do.
Corner can go into the 5th or 6th round this year, and you can get a
Yeah.
guy.
It's true.
That's what I'm
Very
saying.
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if we get one later in the rounds, then maybe we do bring Sherman in. If you know, if they've, I don't know. Well, first of all, Sherman to me is a bad example just because I don't know if he'd even come play with the Cowboys. I know money talks. I'm sure he can. You know, hey, you pay me that much money,
Dan Quinn.
I'll listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so there's a lot of reasons for him to come. I know he's pretty strong on his opinions on shit, and I know he wasn't really very happy about Mr. Jones and him not coming out and saying anything. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I wouldn't mind having Sherman. I wouldn't mind having him at all.
Me either.
I don't know if I would mind having him at 7-8 million.
Last couple of years, he was like PFF's top 2 or something like that.
Yeah, he was up there. Yeah, he's good. He still can play.
He's still got plenty to give, man. But I understand if you don't want your insurance policy being paid more than your, car. So I get it.
Let me ask a couple more then. So, Josh Norman, any interest in him whatsoever?
I like his game.
Okay, so let's say Josh Norman wants $3 million.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep him as your? Let's say he's your number 2 corner, number 3 corner. At that point, are you good with letting Brown go because he just got pushed down to 5 or 6 in your cornerback room?
I know I'm in the minority on this, but I'm not anti-Brown. I like Brown, and I know a lot of fans just totally disagree with me on that. But
I like Brown too. I'm just following the numbers.
No. You're right. That's what I'm saying. If you bring a guy in, so you are pushing Brown back, and you're to the level. Are you going to cut him or not?
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure I want to cut him. I kind of like to keep him.
The problem is the way the team is set right now. He's your highest paid corner this year.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and you're right. If you bring in another one, he's getting pushed down, and he's making more money. So, it's kind of. Is your highest paid cornerback going to be your fourth corner on your team?
Or 5th.
And how, Steve and them look at that, they'll say no, we don't, he's not worth the money. So
What does your free safety position look like? Starting, depth, who y'all got? KZ your starter? Is KZ your starter on that contract? Do you think they're comfortable with that?
Depends
And then
on the draft goes.
who's behind him?
They like him. I don't know if he's a starter day one.
And can Jay Lou go back there? And does that free up a spot on the cornerback depth chart?
That's a good question.
It's a thinker.
Yeah.
Every time I think, go ahead.
Go ahead, Eric.
Every time I think of Jay Lou, I think of that catch at Michigan where he's draped over the back of the dude, one-handed.
Yeah.
I think he can play free.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people do. I'm not so sure. I'm not a big Jay Lou fan anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was when we drafted him, but he kind of got on my, not that he gives a shit, but he got on my shit list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really high on him. I was surprised that we kept him and signed him. I was actually shocked that we gave him that. That was a lot of money, but I was shocked that we did it.
How much more was Cheeto?
I would have kept.
You would have kept
much.
Cheeto?
Yeah. If I was going to keep J. Lou for his contract or Cheeto for his contract, I'm keeping Cheeto.
I agree.
And I'm not like real high on Cheeto, but I'm higher on him than I am Lewis.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that 2017 draft, I had Lewis and Cheeto as my my 3rd and 4th highest graded corners. So I was really high on them that year, and I was jumping up and down the fact that we got both of them.
Oh, I was too.
Yeah. So was I. I mean, Jay Lou, he just looked like he just stayed in everybody's pocket.
Yeah.
Slot didn't matter where he lined up, outside, inside.
Right.
He was stuck to everybody.
Yeah,
most people didn't watch him in college. That guy was unbelievable at coverage.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how much I liked him. I don't know if Eric even remembers this or not. But in 2018, when they moved Jones back to corner from safety,
Yeah.
I predicted that J. Lou was going to beat out him to be the starting corner. That's how much I believed in Lewis. That's how high I was on him. I thought he deserved to be the starting corner in 2018 on the Dallas Cowboys. And then slowly but surely, he went from that to I kind of want him off the team.
Yeah.
It didn't take long for me to get that way.
The little bit I know about J. Lou, I don't think he would have signed here if they didn't offer him an opportunity to play outside corner. I don't see him signing that deal here and saying, okay, I'm going to safety, because I think they could have done that a couple years ago. He could have requested it. I just don't see him I don't see them moving him.
That makes sense.
And if you just follow around the league, when you look at certain teams, a team like Tennessee loves a Jordan Lewis type corner. All their corners are 5'10", 5'11", feisty.
Adoree Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, Adoree Jackson, the kid from New England. Both kids from New England, because they had two of them. Malcolm Butler. I can't think of the other guy's name right now, but they're all in that same 5'10", 5'11", just aggressive corner guys. And I just can't see Jordan Lewis getting a shot somewhere like there unless they told him here he was going to get that outside corner opportunity.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
That's a good point, yeah. What about surprise June 1 cuts? Y'all got any predictions for those? What about
for the league?
For the league, someone we can go get.
Uh,
What about like a Xavier Howard? You think they'll get rid of him? I read somewhere that they can't pay the rookies. They don't have enough to pay the rookies.
Who?
Miami. I think I looked it up, and they had like $8 million left, but they do have a bunch of top round two first, 2 second. I want to say they're going to have to make room somewhere. And I think the scenario was brought up. What about Xavier Howard? How they would cut him, because I think they saved $12 million if they cut him post June 1.
I haven't really looked around the league enough to kind of think about what specific players would come up for that.
Yeah, I mean they're surprises anyway most of the time, and it's usually a jump to get under the cap. But that can be big players because sometimes those teams need to do that.
I would look at specific teams like a Miami, like a New Orleans, Green Bay, Arizona. Trying to think of anybody else. Denver. Those 5 teams. If I'm looking for a June 1 cut, I will go check those 5 teams out because they all have a bunch of high-priced players.
Yeah,
that they could probably replace in the draft and save some money. But I can give you a specific player without looking at the teams. And for this team specifically,
I was trying to look it up. I'm sorry, Marcus. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yep, maybe Lyle. I have to look at what his signing bonus looks like. The 2 that people really want are Jalen and D-Law. It's not going to happen. Zeke, that's not going to happen just because the contracts won't allow it. But maybe Lyle. Tyron, they could, but that would be an extreme surprise for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. Those are only the real guys that could be June 1 cuts on this team. But again, in terms of other teams, I would just check those 5 teams I listed out and check out their rosters.
Who all got restructured?
Tyron
got restructured.
Tyron, Zach,
Lyle Collins. Yeah, so none of them getting cut.
No.
They're not going to restructure them and
Jalen
cut them.
And Jalen and Zeke, all their stuff's guaranteed.
Jalen and Zeke are
guaranteed. Yeah, March 17th or 19th, their shit became guaranteed. So they're not going anywhere.
I don't think there's any surprising June 1
maybe
cuts.
Maybe somebody at the bottom of the roster.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was looking up on Over the Cap. Miami is $6 million under the cap. I don't know how much their rookies, because I think I started cutting out.
Yeah.
Because my level speed ain't much. So when I start trying to look on the internet on shit,
but they have like 3 first-round picks this year, right? So that's going to take up the whole $6 million just with those.
That's what I was saying. They had, the last I looked, I think it was like 6 or 8, something like that. Or no, it was 6 under, but they needed 8 to pay them, something like that.
Yeah, because any first-round guy is going to take up about $4 million just by his own.
And they got 2 of them, and 2 twos, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably $8 million right there just in guarantees. Mendoza brings up Antoine Woods and Matthew Jennings as well. That wouldn't be a surprise to me if they get a detail.
Who's your starting one?
I don't think he's on the team now anyway. I don't think the starting nose is on the team right now anyway. I think Woods is a backup. I think he's a good backup that needs to play about 35% of the snaps. I would not trust him more than that.
You like Urban?
I like what he represents in terms of the PFF grade.
Yeah, PFF grade looks good.
I don't know what he is on this team. If you got rid of Woods and brought another guy in, I guess Urban should be able to fill the Woods role. That's kind of what I'll be banking on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going DT in the first, and I mean not the first, but the first couple of days, and I could even see Gallimore going back to nose. I could see that as an option depending on what Quinn likes because he did a lot of that in college.
And you got Hill starting at 3 if you slide Gallimore down.
I don't have him starting at 3. I would really look at the draft and see what they pick.
Yeah.
If they pick up a nose, I wouldn't be shocked to see Woods gone. If they pick up a guy I think that's more of a 3-tech, I wouldn't be shocked to see Gallimore sliding over a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The draft is going to tell us a lot in terms of that D-line.
Yeah. I just hate going into it with holes.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much inevitable just the way this team operates.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They love that third wave of free agency.
Yeah.
That's like Christmas Eve for them. And they do it every year. That's when you start seeing big name guys who have some injury concerns or we should have picked up 3 years ago and we didn't start to come into play. Like the Everson Griffin trades and Gerald McCoy, Dontari Poe, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you guys are going live 3 years ago, you're probably screaming for them to take a Gerald McCoy because he just fit so many needs at that point.
Yeah.
He didn't. But now that's the guy they're looking at.
Charlie, what are you looking at?
Over the cap.
Are you trying to check out contracts?
He's probably still looking at Miami. I'm pretty sure it's $6 million under, $8 million to feed him. Feed the rookies.
Yeah. Oh, and Brian Dublé, what's up, man? Beer gang in the building. I didn't see you pop in. Mendoza asked about double dipping at DT.
It's about $7 million is what it's going to cost them. I mean, it's all projections. It's about $7.2 million.
Right.
Their rookie cap is $13.3 million. That's
Right.
what they get for the rookies, but that's not what it takes to sign cap space. So that's a little lower, but I figured up around $7 million, roughly, plus or minus a few. But yeah, no, and that $6 million, no, they don't have. But that's one cut, that's one restructure, that's,
Yep.
And plus in the rookie pool, like I said, this is all projections because rookie pool doesn't actually come out. The NFL doesn't set it till after the draft.
Yeah.
So right now it's a projection. It's going to be 13.2, but it could be a little more. It could be a little less. But yeah, no. As of right now, no, they don't have enough money to sign their rookies. So.
Xavier Howard.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think they won't have to make a big cut. I mean,
Yeah, he's like $12 million. They won't have to do that.
Yeah, they won't have to make a huge cut to get down underneath to where they need to be. I didn't even look and see what we have. It's been a long time since I looked at the cap. Once we signed Dak, I was like, fuck it. I didn't even care. Now, y'all got him signed, so all the excuses we ain't got the cap space. You can't play a player like that. Once we sign him, I'm like, all right, y'all got it done. That's all I care about.
Yep.
I'll start looking into it. But yeah, as far as us, none of our big players are going to get June 1 cut.
Yeah.
They're all safe. Nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah, they'll restructure somebody before they cut a player.
Yeah, they still got Cooper they can restructure. They still have D-Law that they can restructure. And
They can restructure.
And Brian Double mentions Urban is a good run stopper. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Well, he was for Chicago in the 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
We don't know what he is here.
Yeah.
So that's, again, why the draft is going to be so important, just to see where they go in terms of D-tackle and linebacker.
Why is your girlfriend coming on and
Yeah.
trolling us, Eric?
Hey, she's just showing support. Love you, baby. Appreciate you.
I was
That's
trying to
that's
But she
that's
hasn't
her
mentioned
Texans.
the Texans.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
hasn't mentioned the Texans in her chat.
So
He had
yeah,
me
that
the Texans jersey. That was the one.
that's JJ in the back. That's JJ.
Oh,
JJ
okay.
Gallup.
That's all her stuff.
Oh, okay.
All the Texan stuff. That's not me. Although I will, if they're not watching or if they're not playing the Cowboys, I'll pretend like I support her and her bullshit ass team. Love you, baby.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Marcus lives in Tennessee, so a lot of Cowboy fans outside the state of Texas, specifically in the city of Houston, doesn't understand the hatred towards the Texans that some Cowboys have. Cowboy fans have. I can't stand them. I mean,
It's really only Cowboys fans that live in Houston
that's why.
because nobody else gives a shit.
Nobody else gives a shit. That's why I try to tell them all the time when they say, "Oh, it's a rival." I'm like, dude, you can ask somebody, a Cowboy fan in Idaho, and they don't give two shits about y'all at all.
That's true.
It's not a rival. I said it's a rival inside the city of Houston. I said go to Dallas and do a fan poll in Dallas. None of the Cowboy fans give a shit about you up there either.
They're like,
Nobody
who?
cares
The
about you.
Oilers? The Oilers are good.
Yeah, I actually.
my top 5 rivalries for Dallas.
Well, see, when
They're top 5?
They wouldn't crack my top.
Oh, okay.
no, yeah, but my thing is when the Texans came out, I was a fan. Hell, I had a Texan hat when they released their hats and stuff and their jersey, or not the jersey, but the shirts and stuff. Got a
Yeah.
hat. Every day at work, I wore my Texan hat, my Cowboy shirt. Because I was an Oilers fan, Cowboys fan first. But I
Yeah.
always wanted '92. I wanted so bad an Order Cowboys Super Bowl, a Texas Super Bowl. And then when the Texans came, I'm like, well, cool. Got another local team. I'm going to pull for them. That's a good thing. And then, dude, them fuckers crawled out from underneath their rock, their fans did. And holy shit. Back then, there was only one sports radio station in Houston. It was 610. And every day in 2002, leading up to the season, it was nothing but trash in the cow. I mean, left and right, and I'm like, holy shit. And it got to the point where, like, I threw my hat off, never wore it again, and said, I can go eat a bag of dicks because I ain't rooting for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I actually looked into season tickets at the Texans too. Me and a buddy, we was going to split them. We was going to go to a couple games, sell the rest to make money, But then after that happened, like I said, it was a slow pace. And in 2002, that's when around January, February, when they started off-season program and shit. And then they draft David Carty, comes out, says, I can't wait to beat the Cowboys or whatever dumb shit he said.
Right.
Then they all jumped on that, and it was over with. I was like, can't be a Texan fan anymore. Y'all done ruined it for me. But I was a Oilers fan. I always pulled for the Oilers, except for the Cowboys. And if they didn't blow that damn 35-point lead, it would have been a Texas Super Bowl that year.
Right.
I left the apartment. I was at a buddy's house, and I was like, yeah, game's over. Let's go do. There's no telling what we ran and did. But we left, and we came back, and hell, it was like a 10-point game. I was like, holy shit, what happened? And then I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, I cannot believe they just choked this away like that.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Anyways, what's next, Eric?
Let's check it. Let's check it out.
Okay. Yeah, let me pull up. We did so actually shout out to Dominic White in War Room. He kind of gave me the idea. He kind of asked the admins of that group, and I guess a few others, Marcus, y'all are pretty close, to come up with some top 25 big boards. So I asked Marcus and Charlie to come up with one and made this up last night. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it. We could come out and figure out some kind of exercise that we can come up with, but let's talk about it.
I guess I would suggest for the people that are watching, take a look at the list real quick and see if you have any questions for whoever about why they have a certain guy at a certain position.
Yeah, so from left to right, you got Charlie, Marcus, and then myself.
And I guess we can kind of do the same thing with each other's list as well.
Yeah.
They're all pretty different.
Yeah, I wanted to get to Marcus's the big name that jumps off the board for me is this Jalen Mayfield, the tackle out of Michigan. Before your list, I had no clue who this guy was. I went and looked up several top 100 boards, and I couldn't find him. So this must be a special guy for you. This got to be a pet that's kind of crept up your board.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just starting off, there are certain teams that I just follow in college more than others, and Michigan just seems to be one of those teams. I don't know why. And then also I played a little O-line back in the day, so I'm always a little bit more aware of offensive line play than most people. And I've been following Jalen Mayfield for a couple of years. He's left tackle from Michigan. I love his hips. He has good feet. I think he's a guard, though. I think he's a guard right tackle, and that's one of the reasons I put him up higher. Sometimes I can look at a guy and I'll be like, okay, that guy's a true guard. And this guy's a true left tackle. This is one of those few guys I can look at and say, okay, he can give you great right guard play and great right tackle play because his hips are good enough to play that position.
Okay.
He has that mean streak that you look for in a guard or a tackle. Long arms are long enough. And just going through my list, I had him as my, I believe, third guard behind Slater and who's my second guard?
Vera Tucker, maybe?
Vera Tucker, yeah. Slater and Vera Tucker, my top two guards.
Okay.
I think those are both borderline top 10 guys. And Mayfield is right there behind him, and I push him up a little bit more because I think Vera Tucker's a true guard, but I think Mayfield can play guard and tackle well.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about him again, but I'm very high on him.
Marcus has 27 O-linemen in a 25 list.
This is a very good offensive line draft. I keep telling
you. It really is.
It's not as good as last year because last year, 5 linemen could have easily gone top 10, in my opinion. This year, you could probably get about 10 offensive linemen in the top 40.
Yeah.
So it's not as top heavy, but it's just as deeper.
Stick, for sure.
Yeah, looking at the list, there's not a lot of difference between all of ours, just the order.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, and the order, and some of the order is not even really that far off.
Right.
You know, maybe mine, Elijah Moore, I got him real high, more than most people.
Oh, okay, yeah, you do.
Molden or Moore?
Moore.
More. He's got the
he's a little 5'10" wide receiver, 5'8", whatever size. He's a little bitty dude.
I love Elijah Moore. You know, I went to Ole Miss, so I've seen every snap he's ever played.
Oh, did you go to Ole Miss? I didn't know that.
I did. Yeah. I've watched every snap he ever played. That kid is going to be the second coming of the guy from Carolina.
Steve Smith?
Steve Smith.
Okay.
He's Steve Smith, I'm telling you.
Charlie said that last night.
I'll bet the house on that. That kid is going to be amazing as a number 2 receiver. I don't think he's a slot guy. I think his mentality, he can come into the league and be a Z receiver for any team. And I have him at 22, I believe. I don't know where you have. You have him at 10.
Yeah,
he's at 10.
But see, this was also what we was talking about before we came on is you can tell by how I ranked him what positions I put priority on. You know, that's just kind of a thing for me. But like I said, I mean, I like him. That was my one. That was the one that I looked at my list. I'm like, that might be someone that somebody questions.
If we went to 30, he'd probably be 26. And I was borderline top 25, but I really like Sam Cosmi. I'm not as high on Zaven Collins as most people, so I would have probably switched them.
Yeah.
But I have him at 22 on my list, so I pushed somebody out.
I don't even have Elijah on my list. But I do have Cosmi. And I snuck Zaven in there at the end.
Yeah. I know a lot of people love him, but he's a first-round talent. I don't want to take that away from him. But
yeah, right there at 25 would be all right.
Yeah. I see Charlie has him at 17. It's a good spot for him. Just depends on.
I just don't know what he is. I will admit
exactly.
That's my problem with him. Because at first he was, I don't know why, but when the draft season started, he was probably the first guy I looked at, maybe because I was seeing his name mentioned a lot. And when I watched him, I was like, I couldn't tell if he was just a true off the ball linebacker or if he's going to be an edge guy in the NFL. I I was more impressed with his off the ball linebacker play than I was his edge play, but his size. Because if somebody tweeted today, he's up to 270.
That's what he weighed in at the medicals for combine.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned that's not, because I thought there was a chance the Cowboys would take him, but that's not Dan Quinn's type of off the ball linebacker. That's why I don't know if we even touch him unless they're bringing him in as an edge. I don't know, but I like him overall. I'm not necessarily for the Cowboys. I just like him as a player. But he's going. I'm curious of where they're going to put him.
I agree.
When he's drafted, where he's going to play. But he's a freak. I mean, he is a freak.
But my concerns
270. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
my concerns
big.
with him are, did he look? I understand athleticism, but did he look so good because he was the biggest person on the field?
Oh, he was giant.
Tulsa?
Yeah.
He's also a 4-year player, so you got a 4-year guy at Tulsa. He's gonna easily be just the most knowledgeable, just from staying there for 4 years and also being the biggest. Is it going to translate to the NFL? I don't know.
Yeah, he looked out of place when he was lined up at linebacker.
A giant.
Because it looked like a damn defensive lineman back there. So yeah, he is huge. But 270, I mean, that's big. I'm trying to think of linebackers throughout the years. LaVarn Kirkland, how much did he weigh? He was a big linebacker. He was big.
What about the kid from New England, from Alabama? Dante Hightower?
Hightower.
I don't know if he's 270 though.
Okay.
Maybe 260. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a big kid.
Just 270. I mean, hell, 260 ain't nothing, frown about either. But that's a big dude. I saw where Will Smith weighed in at 166 pounds.
I saw that.
I told Erica tonight. I said if he's saying that he weighs 170, that means he is about 165, maybe even 160. Because they're always going to say they weigh more than what they really do.
So
unless you're a lineman and you're trying to take off weight.
I see we all have him pretty high. Does that move him down anybody's board?
No. I have him there. If he weighed more, he would be further up on my board. That's the only thing that scares me about him is his size. I worry about his size in them toothpick legs.
I don't.
They look like they're going to snap at any minute now.
Where do you have him at, Charlie?
8.
Oh, okay.
We both have him at 5. Eric.
Yeah,
I got him in my top 10. I'd probably have him above Waddle if it wasn't for his size. But his size scares me enough to where I didn't drop him that far. Obviously, I still like him. I mean, he's still 8, and he's still number 3 wide receiver on my board. So
I just think he's a dog. He won the damn Heisman.
So
if you watch him, he knows how. I understand that it's one talking point. Yeah. I'm just saying, in the SEC, this man beat out quarterbacks for the highest honor in college football, and if you watch him, he's a football player. He falls right, he gets hit right. We had the same concerns over Diggs. I thought Diggs was a little. I mean, not Diggs. Lamb. I thought he was a little skinny, but man, this dude takes some pretty good shots. And
Lamb was 198.
No, I understand that, but even now he still looks skinny to me.
One thing I like about Devontae Smith, go back to 2019. He was literally on the team with 3 first-round picks, like 3 top 20 receivers, and his stats dwarfed all of theirs. And then he came back when he was basically the only guy left and put up like a top 5 all-time receiver performance. I got to give him credit for that. As much as the 160 whatever scares me, just the fact that he steps up when he needs to and performs, that gets my respect. Now, I see you guys have Waddle over him, though.
Yeah.
If it was not for his size, I would have him probably above Waddle. His size. I know it doesn't mean shit probably, but just 166 and them toothpick legs, man. It was like he's gonna. If he stops too quick, they're just gonna snap.
Yeah.
It's like, our buddy Keith brought it up. He put a picture up one time in our chat, and I was like, well, that's just a picture of the angle. So I went and started trying to look for more pictures, and I'm like, holy shit, his legs really are that skinny. I mean, he's a skinny guy, you know. But like I said, I still have him at 8, so it's not like I dislike him. I think he'd probably be in my top 5 too. He'd probably be 5th, you know.
The only reason I have Waddle over Smith is I feel like he can take it to the house from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's kind of like a Tyreek Hill type of weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, speed kills in this game, so that's the only reason. And he's only one slot above him. So if I had to pick an Alabama wide receiver, I'd want Waddle for this team. I feel like we have a couple of Devontae Smiths already, at least one. So, yeah, give me the guy that's going to take the top off and that can take a simple little receiver screen to the house or a little quick slant or something. I mean, this dude outruns angles, so
yeah,
that's why I like him.
And you guys see, I have Waddle a little bit lower on my list.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna go with body catcher. What's your big knock on him?
Well, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a part of it, but I've heard that song before. I've seen that dance. I've seen fast body catchers all the time in the league.
Yeah.
None of them really just pan out to me. That's not saying Waddle's going to be a bad player.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was telling someone, you can go look at just the Colts for the past 6 years, and look at every receiver they've taken. They took names escape me now, but they've probably taken about 3 or 4 receivers in the past 6 years that were all fast body catchers.
Yeah.
And none of them really pan out. I mean, people talk about Deshaun Jackson. Okay, he's electrifying, but how many great years did he really have? He's going to get one deep catch. He's going to get one deep catch every 3 or 4 games, and then the rest of the time it's just okay. He's just a threat.
Yeah.
I think Devontae Smith can be a true 1B receiver for a team if they have a 1 or 1A. I just see Waddle as just a change of pace guy. And
That's
I
fair.
could be wrong.
That's fair.
That's just the way I see it.
I think Tyreek was. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be Tyreek, but Tyreek was viewed the same way, right?
I think the Tyreek comparison gets people in trouble because
it does. Yeah.
You can go to John Ross, and
sure,
you can say the same thing about John Ross as Tyreek because they're the same size and speed.
Yeah.
One of them top 5 receiver in the league. The other one should have never been drafted.
Okay, that's fair. Dante Moncrief.
That's one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad on names. Oh, I got to bring this up since Mendoza brought it up. Eric, I see you got Baron Brown in your top 20.
It could be some Cowboys bias needing a linebacker. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like the tape. I think he's like third linebacker I've got up there. No, he might be the second best linebacker.
Don't you like him, Marcus?
No, he's the third. I got Joker. I got Joker, Parsons, and Browning, I think. Yeah. And then Zaven.
Oh, I like him a lot. I have him in my top 5 linebackers.
Yeah.
I don't have him in my top 25 just because I like the corners in this draft and I like the offensive linemen in this draft. I would probably have him 34 on my list.
Okay.
If I went past the top 25. But talented guy, I'm just glad someone gave him some recognition. He plays all 3 linebacker spots, which is something I don't think anybody else who's listed as a top 5 linebacker can do. We talk about Zaven Collins. He's either going to be a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's going to put his hand in the ground. He's not playing wheel in the league.
No.
We talk about the guy that we all kind of like in Micah Parsons. We don't know how his processing skills are. So can he really play middle?
Yeah, it's all mental with this kid, right? That's the big question.
You could probably put him at wheel and let him use his athleticism. He could definitely play Sam, but he can't play middle. You talk about Joker. As much as we love him, he's not playing more than wheel. You're not putting him in the middle.
No.
He's small.
Exactly.
He's that tweener safety linebacker type.
Yeah.
Can cover fast, gets downhill quick.
And then people talk about the new favorite guy, Jamin Davis, the
workout king.
Warrior. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
If you watch his tape, he looks good in coverage.
Yeah.
Everything else, he looks like a below average linebacker.
Right.
Instincts, tackling ability, all that. He looks well carrying a tight end down the field, but everything else, he's just a guy. He couldn't even start at Kentucky. Let that sink in, guys. How many juggernauts has Kentucky put out in the past 10 years?
Right.
And this kid started 10 games in 3 years at Kentucky.
Yeah.
At least with Barron Browning, I could say Malik Harrison was a dog who put them on the sidelines. And you got Pete Werner and Tuff Borland, two very good linebackers.
Those guys are like the poor man's Barron, I think.
Exactly.
Pretty similar. They just do everything a little bit less. You know what I mean?
But Browning can play all three spots, and he definitely deserves that position you got him at. And I know Mendoza agrees too.
Yeah, I see that. I'm not. Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Yeah. And guys in the comments, let us know. Is there a name that stands out to you? Because we're just kind of going back and forward.
Yeah. Filling
you
time
got
here.
Sante Samuel, number 16.
Let me see. You guys have him at 21, and
I don't even have him.
I kind of want to move him up now. I want to change mine. I think he was one of the ones I was just going down the list and picking guys, and then seen him later and was like, I got to throw him in there somewhere.
Well, if we went to 26, top 26, he'd be in my list because it was between. No, seriously, because him and Molden. I was having to I went back and forth on both of them, and I went with Molden.
Yeah.
No particular reason, that I can really explain. I just liked him a little bit more.
People are probably gonna kill me for saying this. If Samuel was 6'1", we wouldn't even have a question.
We wouldn't have a question.
Right.
He'd be in my top 10.
Exactly. Yeah. If he was 6'1",
and I have no problem admitting that.
Okay, I'm glad you agree with me on that because most people.
Oh yeah, no. If he was Patrick Surtain's size, and he did everything he did on the field, but at that size, I'd had him at my cornerback 1.
Yeah, no question.
And I admit that his size, and a little bit that led to that is some of it is my guys, but some of it's I go about what the Cowboys would think. I try not to let that leak in too much.
Mm-hmm.
But Cowboys like bigger corners, so he kind of slipped down a little bit just because of the size. Not a lot, but
yeah.
But no, I have no problem admitting that his size is what makes me knock him down a little bit. His daddy was a badass though.
He was.
I hated that guy. No, not literally hate him, but you know what I mean.
All right.
He was good. Other than that, I don't really see. I mean, most of our list is pretty much on par with each other.
I don't have Richie Grant in my top 25. I see you guys both have him there.
Yeah,
I don't have any safeties.
Yeah, and I don't blame you one bit for that. I can see why you. I mean, I can see how somebody would do that.
So I see you guys both have a D tackle in your top 25. So first of all, why do you have a D tackle? And second, why is it not Barmore? Because I know a lot of people are curious about that.
D tackle? While we was talking about running backs earlier, I had to put a running back in there because I feel like, well, that's kind of how D tackle is almost like my running back of the defense. So I felt like I needed to put one in there.
Mm-hmm.
And Barmore,
I mean, I don't have a D tackle at all, so whatever you say, I'm probably going to agree with.
No, it's not. I could have put either one of them there. It's one of the things I don't think. I'm like you. I'm not even so sure there's one that deserves to even be in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I probably shouldn't have done the list this way. But in my mind, I thought, well, you got to at least put one defense tackle in your top. And I just favor him a little bit over Barmore. It's not nothing against Barmore. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I did the same thing. I just had to throw one in there.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend. This is a bad talent D tackle class to me in terms of top tier talent.
The last half of my list from after Parsons, 21 on, that was just, if you notice, it was a running back I threw in there, a defensive tackle I threw in there. It was just kind of like
he was throwing darts at other positions.
Yeah, I was just like, who do I put? My first 20, I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. And then it came, well, I don't got a running back, and people don't like me because I don't think running backs matter, so I got to throw one there to satisfy them.
Yeah.
And then and plus, and Harris is good. I'm making jokes, but he deserves to be in top 25. And then Demon's tackle was between him and Barrymore. I just kind of favored him a little bit over Barrymore. Nothing.
Yeah.
nothing I can point out specifics to you. And then, like I said, and Phillips, actually, I had him a lot higher.
Mm-hmm.
But I had him knock him down. I don't know, man. He worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of injury, you know. A little bit.
I'm checking one more thing, and Charlie, I see you don't have Farley in your top 25.
No, speaking of injuries,
I know, that's why I brought it up.
like I was saying earlier about LVE, I went against one of my rules. I just when a guy's hurt like he's been hurt, take him in second, take him in third, whatever. I don't want to touch him in the first round. And this is a back. And me and Eric's talked about this on one of the shows. A back is just, them things just don't get better. I've never known anybody in my life or anybody in a sports life that had a bad back and then all of a sudden it just got better. And it just got better with age. Once you get them back issues, they just keep going. And the thing was, he had a back issue. He sat out a year. He opted out for COVID, sat out a year, and he still had to have what they call it a procedure. I call it a surgery. He still had to have a surgery. You know, and that just the back thing, Romo was one of them. You know, once he had that first back, it was supposed to be a cyst that they removed from his back. And I was like, I don't like it. Everybody's like, oh, you're overreacting. And then from that point on, back. You know, and it's just, you know, Tyron Smith, hell, he's another example. Yep. Started having back spasms. It started off as back spasms. And then next thing you know, he's missing games every year because of back. It's just, that shit just don't get better. And they all look good. I mean, they all look good in off season because they don't do shit. They're not getting hit. You know, they're getting massages and getting treatment, putting ice. You know, so yeah, you know, Tyron Smith every year looks better than he did last year. Yeah, until he gets out there and actually hits somebody, then it actually puts pressure on it, and then it starts having problems. You know, and I'm not going to compare it to me, but I have back issues, and it's just like my back issues now at 47 is a lot worse than they was at 27. They was worse at 27 than they was when I was 17. It's just they don't get better. It just is something that just once you have an issue with it, it's an issue. And I don't do shit. You know, I don't have to hit people. People hit me. You know, so. But yeah, that's why I got him off my top 25. Actually, to be honest with you, I wouldn't touch him. That's just me though. And he will be touched. He will probably go in the first round. I have no doubt about it. But that's why I kept him off my list. I also kept off the kid from Alabama, the lineman, because of injuries.
Oh, you talk about
Deontay Brown,
Landon Dickerson.
Dickerson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he was another one that I liked, but I kept him. So to be fair, it wasn't just a Farley thing. It was I kind of do that with everybody. They either drop down my board or they just get taken off completely if they have some injury issues. I just don't like messing with injured players. You know.
Yeah. Dickerson,
I went back. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Eric.
I went back and forth with him on mine because I did notice that Charlie left him out. And I'm with you in the same boat as far as I'm not drafting him first round. Now, if he falls, great, maybe. But for me, specifically for Caleb Farley, this is a guy that kind of relies on his athleticism to be good. He doesn't do a lot of things great, but he makes up for that with being so, you know, freakishly athletic. So for that type of player to have back problems and needing your body 100% all the time to be that athlete, it's a no for me, especially in the first.
Well,
but I still have him top 5, you know, as far as the rankings.
But to be fair to Farley, I wasn't high on him before the back thing, before I knew about the back thing. I mean, he would have been in my top 25, but he was probably my third corner, maybe in my fourth.
He was fourth for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of film on him. It just not. I don't know, man. There wasn't. He's a freak. His ceiling is high as fuck. He has a high ceiling, but I feel like his floor is also right there with it too.
When you have that type of athletic resume and you get torched by Old Dominion, I got some serious questions about who could play in the NFL. Like, he should be able to just go out there with like dress shoes on or flip flops.
Right.
They cover a kid from Old Dominion on a football.
Some slides.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
So I got two more questions about what I see, and I see us a question in your comments. First one, well, I see I'm the only one that doesn't have Pitts at number 1. So
yeah,
I was very disappointed in you, Marcus.
So are you guys?
We're Pitts train over here.
Okay, I mean I'm not saying
Pitts is a bad player.
And I think you could say the same thing for Chase if he's there too. I think anything you can say about Kyle Pitts, you can say about Jamar Chase, in my opinion.
Yeah. So are you guys on Pitts because he's just that great of a player, or because the difference between him and the number 2 tight end is just that far apart?
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people were using against him is because, or trying to make the argument against him, taking these guys early, blah, 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 the gap between, well, it's not his fault that there's a huge gap between number 1 and number 2.
Right.
It's not his fault that he put better tape together than all of them other guys that ever been selected high in the first.
Mm-hmm.
None of that's his fault. So I see him as an elite prospect coming out, one of the best I've seen come out in a while.
And Mendoza took my second question, but let me say this about Pitts before we go to that question. I keep hearing people put a knock on him because the tight end position, he may have 70 catches, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's a Pro Bowler in the NFL.
Yeah.
Every year. You give me that every year, you're a Pro Bowler. If Jamar Chase had those stats for the first 5 years of his career, he'd be just a guy.
Bust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing people down him because those are his stats, but if I told you I can get you a guy who's going to pretty much be guaranteed to be a Pro Bowler the first three out of the first 6 years.
Yeah.
No, outside of kicker, you'd be like, okay, sign me up for that guy. Because you're getting one of the top 5 players at his position
right
on your team. So that's why I don't knock you guys for him at number 1.
Another thing I look at too is think about what you pay the tight end premium. Mm-hmm. It's not as much as the wide receiver premium. So you can Jimmy Graham this guy and tell everybody he's a tight end, but then you go to pay him and you're going to pay him tight end money, even though he's probably in the slot 50% of his snaps or out wide or wherever. He's not going to be in line. I guarantee you, in line tight end is not going to be the majority of his snap count.
Yeah, I just like Pitts. He's just different. I mean, he's just not your typical tight end. And I know some people talk about how there's been others that had his hype, and I'll argue till I'm blue in the face. Nobody had his hype. None of them guys, O.J. Howard and other ones people bring up.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said they was a once in a generation top player. Nobody ever. They all had the measurables. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of guys that came out and had measurables like him, but nobody had the film that he has. People tell, well, no, other guys did. No, they didn't have a film that he has.
Yeah, the receiving part was all potential. It was never seen on tape.
Yeah,
it was like, this guy's huge. He's probably catch. We can teach him how to catch, but it was always potential.
Yeah, they was 6'4" guys, 240, run 4.3, 4.4, 80-inch wingspan, but we think he can catch. We don't know. He didn't show a lot in college, but we think if we get him, we can do it. Well, Pitts done showed you that. He went a whole season without drops. He has good hands. Good route runner. I mean, his cone drills show that he's not great out of the breaks, but he's also 245 pounds. I mean,
he's tight end, right?
Yeah, and he's also 20 freaking years old, dude. He's 20. My son's 19 and is sleeping in his room right now, and he'll wake up playing PlayStation. This dude is 20 and about to make the NFL. And that's what I'm like, damn, he's only a year older than my son. So yeah.
It's really tall it's really tall. It's really hard for those tall guys to make good times on them 3-cone drills. But if you go look, I think one of his, I don't remember what game it was, but he had a little hitch route where he kind of came in and faked in and then went to the outside, and it looked clean. And it put whoever was covering him, 10-foot gap between the two. And he ended up scoring a touchdown on that play. So I don't think his agility mirrors what his times he got on 3-cone drill. I think he's got a little bit of side to side in him.
Right.
No, yeah, no, I'm just saying you're right.
And guys, again, I went to Ole Miss. The comparisons I hear about him and the kid from the Giants,
Evans
That's an insult to Pitts.
or Ingram.
Compare those guys. Ingram. Yeah, Evan Ingram. That's an insult to Pitts. Ingram was, we're losing by 40 points, and we're just going to dump it off to you about 5 or 6 times at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they locked him up, no matter who they played.
Yeah, that's my point. That's why when people, they bring up him, there's O.J. Howard, him, and there's a couple other people keep bringing up, like,
Njoku.
yeah,
And
I don't know.
yeah.
And they just keep trying to say these guys have the same thing as Pitts did. I'm like, no. It's he's on a different level than all them guys. You know, measurables, yes, their measurables matched up to him. You know, I mean, hell, I can find people on the streets never played football in their life that has measurables. I mean, but this guy actually does it. I mean, he's actually done it. He showed film. He has film that shows I can do this.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, no, that's why I'm high on Pitts.
And Pitts was the guy in college, in the SEC. Some of these other guys were just like afterthoughts.
Afterthoughts, yep.
I don't remember.
Like I said, they was
all.
all freak athletes that coaches, like, if we can get them into our system, if we can do this with them, if we can do that with them. Well, Pitts has already shown you everything he can do. You can line him up in line, you can line him up wide, you can line him up in the slot. He can catch it all three, and he's not a horrible blocker. He's not known for blocking. He's not going to ever win blocker of the year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he does good enough. You know, if you have him in there, he's not a liability in your run game. He's not going to be like, fuck, Pitts is in there. We can't run the ball this play. You can still run the ball with him in there.
If blocking stops you from taking Kyle Pitts, I need you to get in a time machine and go back to 1990.
Thank you, Marcus.
That's clearly where you're living
Thank you,
here right
Marcus.
now.
Thank you. Yes.
Time of possession.
Yeah. Yeah, time of
That's
possession,
great.
play action, all that good stuff.
So, yeah, another thing that stood out to me, because we didn't kind of confer on this, we all have J.C. Horn at number 7.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I saw.
That's the
I saw,
only one.
I saw Mendoza's talk about it. I didn't even notice it until you said it.
Yeah, I just noticed it too. That was my second thing I was going to bring up. And
You have him ahead. Yeah, that's right. You have him ahead of no.
I have him ahead of Surtain, yeah.
And
So
so
do
does
I.
Eric. Yeah, so
Yeah.
does Eric. All right. To me, they're 1A and 1B. That's why I have them right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
If Surtain's on the board, and we take Horn, not one. I would not say one thing about it. I'm good with it. I would have no issues at all.
Yeah. That's one of the things I hate about like certain fan groups. Like the people who like Horn, if the pick was Surtain, I'd be like, okay, we got a good corner. I'm good with that.
Right.
For the people who like Surtain, if they took Horn over them, they'd be like, the whole draft is just
They're disgusted. Yeah.
disgusted,
No,
right? Like
I don't get it.
he's an awful player and you missed out on a once in a lifetime guy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's you get on these team Pitts and team Waddle, team Surtain's, team Horn, but I mean, to me, I might be a team, but I still like the other team too.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't have a problem. There's probably I don't know, man, just 1, 2, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, definitely 8. There's at least 8 players that we can take at 10. I won't bitch about.
I'm the same way.
I'll be
Yeah.
totally fine with it.
Yeah.
It might not be my guy, might not be the position I want to take, but hey, whatever. You know, I'm good with it because it ain't like we don't have a lot of needs. You know, it ain't like we're stacked and we just have. You know, there's a lot of needs we have. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I guess the next question I have is probably one of my last ones. It goes back to what Matthew Jeanette put in the comments. If we make a trade swap on draft day, what do y'all think the plan would be?
That's actually good because maybe we're going to talk about that anyways.
Yeah, let's segue right into that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of our topics today was because you had brought it up about trade back scenarios.
Right.
I think you brought it up in the war room. I think Eric
I did.
screenshotted the war
Yeah.
room one. Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I was just kind of looking at the board, and I was trying to figure out, okay, if we trade back, what spot would be the team that would kind of trade up? And just looking at it, New England kind of stood out to me at 15. So I asked the question: if we go back to 15, and all of these guys were taken, who would be the guy that we would take? If you can go back to the board, the top 25, real quick
Let's go. Yeah.
for a second. I just want to see who we have at our 15th. So Charlie has Tevin Jenkins. I have Azeez Ojulari, and Eric has Caleb Farley. So if the draft worked out just like we have our top 25 right now,
Yeah, remember, we're not using quarterbacks in our rankings. There's no quarterbacks in these rankings.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Right. So that will probably push us back. Push us up about two or three spots. So let's
say at least 3. Yeah.
Okay.
At least 3. Yeah.
So let's say it's Joker, Quiddy Pay, and Joker, and we're at 15. Are you guys happy with Joker at 15 if we trade it back and got an extra second?
Yeah, I am.
No. Even though he's on my board there.
Or anybody behind him that you have.
I'd be okay with Aziz. I'd be okay with Tucker. I'd be okay with, especially Tucker and Jenkins. I'd be okay with them.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd be okay with Newsom.
Okay.
I would have no. I mean, you're still getting a corner.
Yeah.
And I, he's not too shabby himself either. But yeah, that's why I'd take one of the OTs or guards. Because Tucker kind of both. I think you have him clearly as a guard. But yeah, I'd do one of them, and I would have no problem with Newsom. You still get your corner that everybody thinks you need, and you picked up hopefully what you should have picked up, a second and a third, or a second and a fourth.
Yeah, just an interesting question. Just talking about trading back.
But you're right. A lot of people talk about trading back, but they don't think about what and that's another thing is, and if there's certain players are still there, I'm a trade back guy. But if there are certain players still there, I'm not so sure I'd want to trade back because you might lose out on one of them, and I don't know if I'd want to take that chance.
That's where I'm kind of sitting right now. I don't want to trade out of that top tier of those 8 guys that we talked about earlier. I feel like you can play yourself if you trade back. So what it's 15 and then 20 for Chicago, maybe something like that, 15 to 20 range.
Well, for me to trade down to 20, they're going to have to give me a shitload.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's my problem with that. I mean, how many picks do you need? We've already got 10.
Well,
I don't want 10 picks on the.
I want a shitload to where I can package them up and come back up in the first round.
Yeah.
Because and get enough, because I'm already dropping 10 spots.
Yeah, a couple
That's a
times.
lot of spots. You're dropping out of the top 10 and you're dropping back 10. But New England 15, I'd be good with that. But like if Surtain or Horn's still on the board, I don't think they would. But if they did, I don't know if I would be okay with that. I guess you can still, like I said, you drop back and still get Newsom. But you're also taking a chance a run on players happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you trade back, Surtain goes, Horn goes, and then somebody's like, oh shit, we need to get up there and get Newsom.
Mm-hmm.
And Newsom goes, and then you're screwed.
Right, because they're looking at Dallas at 15. Like we know they're going corner.
We know they're going corner. They're just trying to pick up some extra picks, thinking they're still going to get Newsom. Let's jump them and go get him.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You're playing with fire if you do it. Now if the draft goes where there's only 3 quarterbacks taken and the board is wiped off, Slater, Sewell, Surtain, Horn, and all of them is wiped out, then yeah, I'm okay with them trading back. But I just have to believe there's going to be at least 4 quarterbacks taken, and I'm not so sure there's not going to be 5 taken before we pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it all depends on what San Francisco does at 3.
Yeah.
If they take Jones like most say they're going to, I can't believe they will, but if they do, I think there's going to be a lot of teams trading up for Fields and Lance. I think it's going to cause a shitstorm.
We could see surprise at 1 or 2. Let's not forget about that. Everybody thinks that Lawrence is going to Jacksonville.
I'm 100% Lawrence is going, but I agree with you on Jets. I agree that I have yet to heard anything to say the Jets was going to. I think people are putting that in an assumption. Except that I did hear a report where this everybody said was fake that the Jets was offered a first round pick for Darnold, but they didn't accept it because they wanted to check Wilson's shoulder out first at his pro day. And once they checked his shoulder out at his pro day, they signed off on him, and that's when they decided to trade Darnold. But then the first round pick wasn't offered after that. Yeah. Now, that could have been just somebody from the Jets throwing some bullshit out there saying, well, we could have got it first, but, we did our due diligence and trying to make up for, what people thought maybe was a fuck up on their part, which I don't.
Yeah.
So I guess follow up. Looking at your guys' boards, how far back would you be comfortable going? Where it's like, okay, I don't even see a guy I would like to take as a first rounder.
You mean a trade back?
Yeah, like if someone offered, how far would you be willing to trade back? Looking at where your board is right now.
Marcus, honestly, probably 15. What you said with New England. I'm not so sure I want to trade back any further than that.
Right.
I know a lot of people are talking about Chicago because maybe them trading up for a quarterback, but damn, dude, that's 10 spots.
Yeah.
You're going to lose out on some. You're going to lose out on some players there, man, and you better get a haul to do. And if they're trading up for a quarterback, you better get a haul for that.
Yeah.
And even then, I mean, you'd have to. I guess somebody have to give me an example of what we could get. Because I mean, I think how I figured up on the value chart, and the value chart ain't
it ain't
end all.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but it is a guideline. And on value chart, I think I figured it would take us trading. They get our 10, we get their 20, and we get their second and their third. And I'm not so sure that's enough. I think I mean, and that would be us winning the trade by I think close to 100 points on the value chart.
Yeah.
I think I still want more.
Yeah.
I still think I don't want to trade back 20, lose 10 spots for a second and a third.
Yeah.
And I'm a trade back guy. I love trade backs, but this draft is
draft is different. I
different.
think
This draft is different. It's not like it's loaded.
Yeah.
With certain positions, and I don't know.
Right. There's no home run top 10 guy at 10.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and it also would depend on who's on the board. If it's wiped clean, there's only 3 quarterbacks taken, and it's wiped clean, then yeah, I'll trade back, maybe even past 15 because I'm like, hell, we might as well just package some up and come back up and get 2 first-round draft picks. Trade back to 20, draft somebody, trade back up to 25, 30, 32, and get another one.
Yeah.
You got the picks. So it's going to be an interesting draft, man. I don't know if it's because we're in the top 10 or it's just because it's an interesting draft, but I'm more interested in this draft than I have been the past couple of years.
Right. Because I see so many people post, well, if I go from 10 to 15, I need next year's first. That's
not going to
happen. I mean, if you can get that, well, great.
Yeah.
Do that to them, but nobody's going to give you a first for going 5 spot up.
Yeah.
The teams do tend to give you a little bit more value as far as picks from future drafts, though. They will. So instead of this year's 2, they will. I have seen it to where they'll give you a next year's 1 versus this year's 2, something like that, late.
The last time pick 10 was traded was for
Mahomes,
right?
Yeah,
and
Mahomes.
They gave up next year's first and that current year's third to go from like 23 to 10.
Yeah.
So we're not getting anything near that to go back to 15.
No.
We could hope to get something like that if we go back to 20.
Especially if New England's on the phone. He's not doing that.
No.
So if we drop back to 20 for Chicago and they gave us their first next year and a third this year, see, man, that's nice, but we're losing out a lot of.
Well, looking at my board, I'll take Asante Samuel and the first.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's dropped back to 20. That's not dropping back. That's dropping back to 20. And if teams want to make a run on corners, if there's a run on corners, you're going to be,
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be that much of a run, but if
You never know.
if Horn is already off the board, and so is Surtain, and then you trade back, and then one other corner gets taken, just name the number 3, whoever it might be, Newsom.
Right.
Then somebody's like, oh shit, especially when it gets closer to us because they're going to take a corner. We need to go up. It's just you're playing with fire. And I've never said that before because, like I said, trade backs are my thing. I want to trade back every year and just collect draft picks. But this year it's a little different. I kind of like where we're at.
Yeah. And kind of like Eric said, he likes Asante Samuel at 20. I'm looking at it like I could probably get Molden in the 30s.
Yeah.
So do I want to take Asante now or maybe Newsom falls? Maybe Eric Stokes is there in the 30s.
Yeah.
Is Samuel the guy I want to hang my hat on in the first round when there's a guy 8 or 10 picks later who's
That might be, yeah. No, that's a good point. Last question from Matthew. How did the Eagles fuck up their pick this year?
They already did it by trading out of 6.
Exactly.
Yeah, they already fucked their pick. Ask the fan base.
I pray they take a receiver, just so I don't have to worry about that guy ever again in life. No matter what receiver they take, he's already screwed.
Jalen Reagor over Jefferson.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that clip? I never seen it. I seen it on Twitter yesterday of the war room in Minnesota when fucking Philadelphia took Rager and left them Jefferson, and how happy they got.
Probably
They all
all
looked
crazy.
around like, hey, get on the phone now and put Jefferson on the clock right now. They all smiling and laughing at the Eagles taking Rager over Jefferson. Jefferson actually was higher, like me and Eric was talking about earlier. I actually had Jefferson higher than I did Ruggs. I had Jefferson.
I think everybody did except for the Raiders.
Yeah, I had him as my number 3. I actually had Judy above Lamb. Judy Lamb, then Jefferson.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things. Judy Lamb is 1A, 1B. I didn't give a shit.
Right.
If both of them fell to us and we took Lamb, I still would have been happy. I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, they was both good players. They both. And poor Judy just went to a team without no quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Lamb went to a team that got their quarterback got hurt. He ended up with a above average quarterback.
Let me ask one more question about trade up scenario. Just
Yeah.
This is Eric's wheelhouse. I'll let him take care of this one.
So looking at the value chart, it looks like if we were to trade our second and our third, we could get back up to about 25. You interested in that, Eric?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
I would even trade up for Pitts. 7, 8. I don't know if I'd go to 4, but I'd go 7, 8. It cost
A third.
a third to go up to 7, and that third comp to go up to 8. I don't think that's too much.
okay.
If that's your guy, if you really believe that's your guy, what's a third round pick?
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 of them.
Yeah, I would do what Marcus. I'd trade back up. I wouldn't do what Eric's talking about. I'm on the pitch train, but I'm not on this pitch train that much.
Right.
I say that, like I told Eric, let it happen, and I'll give you my reaction when it happens. Because right now I don't know. I say no, but when I really think about it, Eric says just a third, and he is right. I'm like, yeah, we got 2, man. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I'm not a trade up guy. I've never really liked trading up a lot. I liked the.
I wouldn't if we had 7 picks. I wouldn't, but we've got 10
Right.
Yeah, I was okay
and
with the
2
Dez.
thirds.
I was okay with the Dez trade up. I wasn't okay with it. I was happy.
Yeah.
D-Law, I was okay with it. I was on the fence. Wasn't happy. Wasn't mad about it. Mo hated that one. That was dumb.
Awful.
Yeah. So I mean, it just kind of depends. But on a 25, train back up in the late first. Oh hell yeah, I'd do that.
So
if there's a player there sliding, and you're like, man, we got to get him.
Yeah, who would it be that would
him.
slide that would make you want to jump up there?
That was my next question.
We did so our board is here. We could throw that back up.
'Cause I feel like if you're getting rid of a third, to me, in this draft, a third round pick is a defensive starter.
Well, who we?
Yeah, that's true.
If we're trading back up, who did we take at 10? That's what I would need to know.
Yeah.
Did we take Surtain? You know, did we take Horn? Or
that's a good-
Either
that's a
way, it
good
doesn't
question.
matter. Take either cornerback. Did we take a cornerback? What position did we take at 10?
Let's assume we took a corner at 10. So now we're going through the draft, and who are 1 or 2 players that have to fall to about the 25th spot to make you say, okay, I really want to go get this guy.
Like Richie Grant.
I was just about to say, I think Grant, would that be the guy?
Yeah, that's one of my guys.
Maybe at safety, yeah. I'd probably do that.
Mayrick.
I'm not as high on Merrick. I do have him in my top 20, but I like Washington over Merrick. I think Washington's a better TCU safety in my opinion. But I couldn't put him in my top 25 and look ridiculous. Everybody else has him dropping to late second, third.
Yeah.
That might be the only one. A safety might be the only one because I'm not so sure. Because OT, I think you can stay where you're at and get one. I
know Charlie's answer, but what if Farley falls there? How far up do you trade to get Farley if you want him?
I'm trying to look at the edges too. If there's any edge.
If I got a corner at 10, I'm good with Farley.
Where do you think?
Yeah.
Where do you think Kwity Paye is going to go? Marcus?
Personally, I think he goes to Denver.
So you think he does go high?
Oh shit!
I'm about to say if he was falling for some reason, I don't think he will. But I would trade back up for him, and that might be the only edge guy I'd trade back up for.
You don't like Phillips?
No, I have him low.
I got him overpay.
I don't know, man. Maybe Aziz. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess hell, dude. I don't know who's going to fall either.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really have a lot of positions that I think I would trade back over.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think attacking the position is the way to go. I think the player, right? You want to look at the name.
Yeah.
If you got a guy that falls, out of your top 10 or something that far, then fuck yeah, let's go. But
that's what I said. Maybe a safety
position,
would be the only one. A Grant. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably Richie Grant would probably be the only one. Maybe the other kid from TCU, I might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the mocks, I always just plan on falling back to grab Washington because he's always there.
I never could. I never could grab him. He always went before I could get him.
Yeah, I'm not really that high on the safeties. I like them. I'm one of those guys. I look at the scheme a little bit more than I should probably.
Yeah.
And we need a deep middle safety.
We got a center field. We need a center fielder.
I don't see one of those guys filling that role, in my opinion. I would rather wait for Washington or Cisco.
Yeah.
Cisco has a lot of flaws when it comes to playing inside of 15 yards. But if you tell me he's my last line of defense, I love him. I can't ask him to do anything else.
Okay, Jeff Heath.
Because it's a train wreck. But if he's just playing deep middle, he's the last line defense for those corners. He's playing that middle third. I love him as a player. And I don't think people talk enough about how important scheme fits for players are, because sometimes a team will grab a guy like a Farley. Oh, he runs a 4.2, he's 6'1", and then you put him in a certain scheme and he just
fails.
looks awful.
Off zone or some crazy.
Right.
Yeah, he don't know how to play.
Exactly. It happens all the time in the league.
All the time.
And
Brandon Carr, Morris Claiborne.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it happens a lot at safety in my opinion, too. Because people see a guy that plays safety and he can go down and cover in the slot. That's great if your scheme needs that. But if you need a guy who can read a zone and kind of see when one guy comes in his zone who to pick up, everybody can't do that. And I don't think Mayrig is that guy to do that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. If he's covering a guy and that guy catches an 8-yard ball, he's only getting that 8 yards. But I don't see him like really reading and reacting.
You don't see him playing center field on our defense?
No, I don't see. No. I don't see it personally. I would be kind of afraid to see him deep middle.
Mendoza wants Basham.
I love Basham.
Yeah,
I like Basham too.
If we were at 40 and I saw Basham fall to low to mid 30s, and it took me a 4th rounder to go get him, I'd do that all day. Basham,
yeah, that's fair. I'd do that.
Basham has it, and a lot of people don't give him credit because he's a base end. But the kid got like 9 sacks as a base end in college, and he gives you that mentality where he's gonna try to kill the other team's quarterback.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yep.
All right.
2-hour mark.
Yeah, I know. You guys do anything else you want to go through?
Hell, we talked about last night. We'll do about an hour. Remember?
Yeah.
So, I can get on. I can do an hour with you.
Yeah.
Cool. Hell, 2 hours later. But it's fun, man. I enjoy doing this shit.
I love it. Any late round guys you got any questions about, or any positions you think you want to talk about late rounds?
To be honest with you, I did not go in any mock that I do. I don't go past the 4th.
I don't either. I don't like mocks either, but yeah, I don't go past the 4th.
They're fun exercise, right? Just to see what the trend is.
I go past the 4th, but I can honestly tell you when I'm picking them, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know what I'm doing. It's just that it's kind of like, okay, I got my 4 players. I just click. I usually take BPA on the mocks and shit like that. And usually I trade a lot too. I try to trade back up and get rid of some of them picks.
Right.
That's exactly what you have to do.
To see what I can do, see what kind of players, how much value I can get.
Do not pick 10 players.
No.
Do not pick 10 players.
I don't
Especially if you trade back. If you trade back, you better trade up twice.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want 10 players out of this draft unless
Marcus, what are you doing? What are you doing for the draft? Have you decided yet? You and Lambo doing anything, or
you guys kind of know my personal situation, so I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
Okay,
that's fair.
Cool. Depends on what happens.
All right.
This could be my last time on air for a couple of weeks. Just don't know. Just depends on what happens after the next couple of days.
We're going live for the draft, so
okay.
If you're free, you can jump in for a little while, or you can just chat with us, or if you do something. Other than that, the first round we're going to do live, and then second, third
just
round.
The first round.
Second, third round, we ain't gonna go live during the draft. I might do something very busy. I might get on by myself and recap the second and third round and the day 2 and day 3, and then we'll probably do something. Probably that Sunday or that Monday to recap the draft and who all we got.
Yeah.
I know.
And then the schedule comes out.
Yeah.
That'll be our next one. I'm ready for it. I'm a big schedule release guy. I always get all happy and giddy.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Plus I'm going to another game this year. My son wants to go see the Cardinals. Us play the Cardinals. So I'm gonna buy some tickets. I need to know when that game is though.
Yeah.
Win-loss predictions are fun.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. The way too early prediction for the season.
Right.
I always put 22-0.
Yeah, we're gonna do something like that.
So, yeah.
Let us know.
Oh,
no worries. No. Yeah, there's no pressure for anything.
Yeah, the UK guys asked me to come and do something, but the time difference is so big.
Oh, yeah, that is jacked up, ain't it?
Yeah.
What is the time difference?
It's like 9 hours.
So they're doing something 9 at night. They're basically 11 in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, for the most part. And
no,
the draft for them starts at like 4 a.m.
Oh, hell no.
Fuck that.
Shit, I'll be like, I don't know if I can get up at 4.
They're dedicated though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I lived over there, you know, if I live here and they're like,
Yeah, so they're gonna start their broadcast for us will be at 7 a.m. and then just go almost 24 hours.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
How comfy is your chair, man?
If I go in, I'm just gonna dip my head in, get out. But
them boys are hardcore.
They are hardcore. Yeah, they're definitely a big fan base.
We got a British guy from in the group that we told we'll bring on at some point if he wants to. He said he'll have to think about it.
I feel like the accent would be great for podcast or
I just love the fucking accent.
Just
want
to listen to them talk.
Them and Boston guys. That's my 2 favorite actors.
Oh yeah,
I love Boston
so
actors.
good at talking shit.
Right.
You know.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
And I love UK guys because you got basically Scotland and Wales and England, and every accent is different.
Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah. That's great to have three of them on the screen at the same time.
That'd be cool. That's where my background is, Scottish. That's where my last name came from.
Okay.
I probably don't have 1% in me. I probably all got breeded out of me at some point. But that's where my last name came from. Irish and Scottish.
All
right.
Any last words? Comments, thoughts, complaints?
Marcus, you want to tell people where you can follow them at? I think most people know.
Yeah.
But if you want to repeat that.
Most people don't know me, so I appreciate that.
We're most people.
Hell, more people know you than they know us.
Again, thank you guys. You'd be surprised. Thank you guys again for giving me this opportunity. If you guys want to follow me, everything's pretty much Bluff City Cowboys I host a podcast with my co-host Lambo called The Cowboy Zone. We try to go every Thursday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This will probably be the last time I'm on air for a couple of weeks. My mom is doing pretty bad right now. I don't know if she's gonna make it, honestly. And she's the biggest Cowboy fan I know. I'm a Cowboy fan because of her. One of the highlights of my life was taking her to her first Cowboys game. That was something she talks about to this day. Her profile pictures have been from Cowboys games. Anytime she changes them, people see my background. They think I just bought all this stuff to try to look cool on camera.
No, that's me.
Yeah. All the stuff I got behind me. This is 30 years of Christmas gifts from my mom. So she's been dedicated to the Cowboys. She's been dedicated to me. And I just appreciate her. And I was kind of contemplating on whether or not I would do this, but my mom knows my passion for the team, and I know her passion, and she'd be proud that I was able to hold it together and come and do something that she knows I love, and that's talk about Cowboys football. So just keep her in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers, and guys, thank you again for giving me the opportunity, being patient with me because I didn't really tell you guys what was going on, but
Yeah.
I told you.
No worries.
Got a lot
No
going
worries.
on, and you guys were flexible enough to do this at a time where I felt like she was stable and I could dip my head out for a couple of hours and take my mind off of things and smile a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I hear you, Bubba. No problem. We can always make arrangements.
yeah, definitely.
And we want to do something with you and Lambo. Don't forget that. I want
yeah.
Lambo in on here at this too one time.
Right.
Y'all can host that one, and we'll come on, y'all.
Okay, great. So, yeah.
We'll do it. We can do it sometime after post draft. Like I said, you got shit you got to take care of. So whenever you're ready, just get in touch with us, and we could do it at y'all's time, at 7 p.m. We can make arrangements. We can work around that.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate that, and everybody, thank you for all your condolences in the comments as well. Mendoza, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Do you want to? Yeah, let's give them our handles too. Obviously, heavy hearts and thoughts go out to Marcus's mom. It's a tough thing, but stuff like this can kind of get your mind off of it. And I'm glad that we could do that for you for the brief 2 hours or whatever it was. So
Give you 120 minutes of relief.
yeah, right on. So Bluff City Cowboys, all of Marcus's stuff. You can catch me on Twitter at Fan in the Funny Hat. Catch Charlie at Moffat2336. The show on Twitter is Dallas Cowboys U1. We're on Facebook, Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. Also on YouTube, Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. And that's it, man.
And hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit the subscribe, share, like. Do if we're your flavor, come on, we want more. So
And follow Marcus and hit Marcus subscribe button too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's one of the better ones out there.
we'll do some some more future collab stuff. So
Right. This won't be the last time. Not at all.
No, this won't be the last time.
for sure. That's it. That's all I got, fellas.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate everybody watching.
Marcus, be good, bud.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace.